from the University of Southern California and the University of California, San Diego, by the way, schools to the United States Navy. Okay, they have contracts with the Navy. They were selling bodies to the Navy. The Navy used some of these bodies to train Israeli military medical personnel. Al Jazeera, a youth-focused digital-only outlet, which is part of Al Jazeera, they just released this documentary on Monday. So I think must be last Monday. Yep. Yeah. So we're going to watch the Instagram clip that's sort of like a highlight of the documentary. But again, this is information that was released last year. So I don't want to sound like this is Brent, but the documentary is new. So where is the, here, let's play it. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. You do it.
Allowing the Israeli military to train on dead Americans.
The University of Southern California receives deceased bodies that were donated with the intention of advancing medical research and education. But an AJ Plus investigation in collaboration with USC student journalists shows that some of these bodies are being used in an Israeli military training course in Los Angeles.
At the heart of this story, it comes down to transparency and informed consent. When you sign up to donate your body, either to USC or UC San Diego, nowhere in those donor agreements or consent forms is there an explicit mention of possible use for military medical training.
The bodies that are being used at USC are what are known as fresh tissue cadavers, which are recently deceased, chemically unpreserved bodies that are pumped with fake blood to stimulate a pulse. Trauma surgeons across the US told AJ Plus that this method is not standard practice.
It's kind of creepy when you think about it. Like the person is breathing and they have blood flowing through them. It ultimately simulates more realistic, like surgery-like conditions. But the people that we spoke to in the documentary, including the anonymous doctor at USC, thought that was one of the most disturbing parts of this.
This isn't the first time that Israel has used dead bodies without consent. For decades, there have been documented cases of Israeli forces harvesting organs and tissue from Palestinian bodies.
Are you okay?
I mean, do people not understand that there is no level of depravity that they will not sink to? That there are things that they will not, I mean.
They stole Rachel Corrie's corneas?
Does that surprise anybody?
You
know, it's funny. We've reached the point with them where there is nothing that there's nothing we could learn now that would actually shock us.
Well, that's where we are. And that's why I want to be clear, like, this is not new information. It's a new documentary. And I would encourage you guys to go over, it is free, watch it on Al Jazeera. Go watch the full thing, because they actually the students at these universities are the whistleblowers. The students, I don't know if it was like necessarily the journalism students, but they uncovered this, the contract and put all the pieces together. So this is a new documentary in Al Jazeera.
Without the knowledge of their families.
The idea is that these Israeli soldier medics that are training are getting more of like a real experience for when they're treating their wounded compatriots or whatever in the field.
In the AJ Plus documentary, Dina spoke to family members of donors who were devastated when they heard the news. She also spoke to one woman who revoked her own donation from the program entirely.
And what she told me was, I don't want my body going to the IDF. I don't want to support anything Israel's doing right now, not their genocide, not their policies of starvation. Like, that idea is repugnant to me.
USC, which is the only known university in the US to have a contract that directly mentions the IDF in it, claims that the bodies are being used for educational purposes, not military training. But these are federal contracts, and Dina argues that their claim just doesn't hold up.
The Israeli military is coming all the way to California to train with the US Navy in a very specific manner on dead bodies that did not consent to it. It does not.
I mean,
were you familiar with this story? Or is this I didn't know if you knew it. Okay.
I was not familiar with this.
Okay. Are you? Yeah, I just thought it was a good piece.
Because of course we're involved in this shit. So why not?
Yes.
Change the fact of who is receiving the training and who the training is being done on.
And this wasn't exactly a secret within USC. Dina says that there had been quiet discontent for a while, but nobody wanted to go on record for it.
That just tells you that how much fear there is still entrenched in institutions in the United States, where there's a lot of fear about criticizing Israel because it could cost you your job.
Most of the students who broke the story are current graduating seniors who have had the Gaza genocide as the constant background of their college experience. They told Dina that seeing this and the crackdown of pro-Palestine activism on their campus is what led them to investigate in the first place.
They see the connections, that what is going on at their university is not so far removed from what is going on in Gaza, in the region, and there is that link there that they have uncovered.
It makes me very proud of those students. I feel I feel a little verklempt. I feel a little bit, because it's similar to how I felt about when they were doing the encampments. It's like, good for these students to put this shit together.
I also want to point out something very important here that she just said right before the end.
The genocide as the constant background of their college experience. They told Dina that
in institutions in the United States where there's a lot of fear about criticizing Israel because it could cost you your job.
Yes.
I'm living proof of that, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why a lot of people don't speak out. There is a lot of fear that comes with saying this. Now, I believe as we go forward that there is more and more of a likelihood that people are not going to be afraid to speak up. And you're seeing it now because the Greater Israel Project is making it crystal clear what these guys are up to and how the only way they're able to move forward with this is through us.
So in regards to that story, though, and I want you guys to understand what they're doing if it wasn't really clear. And this is something that is not typical, which is what she had said in that piece. So they're taking very freshly deceased people. Okay, now when you are and I went through the whole medical school and gross anatomy and all that when my husband did, because I couldn't get the smell of formaldehyde out of our house. But when you're doing the kind of work, when you dedicate your body to that, it's not usually very fresh cadavers. Like, it's not usually somebody that just died that day, right? Like, that's not usually how it goes. And yet what they're doing is they're taking very freshly deceased bodies, pumping them full of fluids, getting their heart pumping again, so that they're basically bringing them back to life. And then they're doing all sorts of sadistic, sick shit to them so that they can teach medics how to heal it. So then they're shooting them and doing all this sick shit to them while they are now hooked up to machines and blood is circulating through their bodies. Yeah. So I don't think, and honestly, I learned a long time ago when I was in high school and I took anatomy in high school, and we would actually have human bones that we would be using to study different bones and stuff, which is totally legit. And I remember looking in this skull where you could take the thing in the skull, and somebody wrote, "I was here." And I'll never forget that. And that was the moment when I decided I'm not donating my body for educational purposes, because there is a level of disrespect wherein somebody would write, "I was here" inside of a skull. But this is a reason why nobody should donate their, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's why people desecrate graveyards. People are weird and people are inhumane. And the Israelis are all that and then some. And this gets back to how much they've infiltrated our country and why it is such a significant problem. And Colin, if you could pull up the Apple story. For me, I'm an Apple user. I'm on a MacBook. And yet, from the Jerusalem Post, mind you, Apple announced the iPhone 17e with a chip developed in Israel.
This is a little bit, this article, that this is not new, right?
No, this is something that's coming to the forefront. When you sent me that
print, right? That's why I'm curious where you're going with this, because when you sent me that and I found the article, it's a little bit older than.
It's a few weeks old, but it's not something that we covered. Okay. But I think it's very important. Okay. The new iPhone 17 model supports Apple's AI tools, features faster wireless charging, and includes the new C1X modem developed by the company's Silicon team. This is really sick. Apple recently announced its iPhone 17e, a model intended to make its AI technology accessible to a broader audience. Although the external design has barely changed, it appears that this time Apple chose to invest specifically in the areas where the previous model, the 16e, began to feel outdated. A quiet upgrade under the radar. Apple launched the iPhone 17e in a press release without a flashy event, which they usually always do, and without a stage in Cupertino. Apple refreshed its entry device. iPhone 17e comes with an A19 chip, full support for Apple Intelligence, and a new cellular modem developed in Israel. All at the same price tag. Yeah. The most significant news is found under the hood. The A19 chip, this is the same processor that powers the base model of the iPhone 17 series. And it is what enables the device to run the Apple Intelligence suite of artificial intelligence tools. In addition, Apple chose to double the starting storage capacity to 256 gigabytes. Significant amount of upgrade users without raising the price of the device. But here's the reason why this is such a big deal. If you thought that the Zios were spying on you before, now they're really spying on you. They are putting Israeli-based AI intelligence into the iPhone 17e to basically track your every move. But now Israel's going to basically be able to do that. And so for anybody who has a problem with Apple doing this, yeah, who's to say that they won't have that ability? Who's to say that it won't have a pager's capability of going off at random? Along the main processor, the iPhone 17e includes two critical developments by Apple's Silicon teams, the N1 wireless connectivity chip and the C1X cellular modem. These two chips designed to grant Apple technological independence vis-a-vis external suppliers were developed in close cooperation with engineers from Apple's development center in Israel. Why does Apple have a development center in Israel? I think that's a bigger question that isn't getting asked.
I think a lot of companies have those, though. A lot of companies, especially tech, have connections in Israel like that. I don't think that's, I mean, yeah, it's gross and disgusting, but I don't know that that's unusual.
The N1 is responsible for managing Wi-Fi 7 and Bluetooth standards, while the C1X provides cellular browsing speeds up to twice as fast as previous generation, et cetera, et cetera. Another change, the iPhone 17 can now be chosen wirelessly at a speed of 15 watts compared to only 7.5 in the previous generation. Keep scrolling, Colin. However, those expected a dramatic design change won't be disappointed, et cetera, et cetera. Keep going. And so I bring this up because...
Although it's going to be available in a soft pink.
Oh, in a soft pink.
So I saw that at the end. It will be available in a soft pink. So there's that.
I would tell I would preface this very carefully, but if there is any multinational corporation out there that you have used their technology for any reason whatsoever, and you know that they're involved economically with Israel, be on the lookout for them potentially causing you direct harm as a result.